Toa tare leki mo tolu ke tau polokalama o ngongo pe mo le tio mo televisione Pasifika ki ha ahoni aho tua pelilulu kuia kono wa fitu o Sanuari wa fe maua pe o kokore ki hufanga I ngahi talamalu e fonua pe puipuiangi he moho eiki. Ia ahoni aho tua pelilulu kono wa fitu kuia o Sanuari o ki ai whakatumerie e malama ha tau kolosi atu kuia ki he loki o ngongo kuia ai Broadcasting valu fitu porinime FM pe mo whakama opo o ngahi ongo kuia mei Tonga ki Howani, pe foki ngahi ongo ke pe ko tātaraki mai pe kai kuia pe, kau kuiai pe foki pe mai eke mawahe, a le tio mo televisione Pasifika e whakahoko atu ia, aia koe eke koini, ne whakahoko ia pe a mo e tokoni komisiona kuia o e whare Tonga, pe koe pare kuia a Tonga, I he expo wawhe maua noa o kulolo Tonga whakahoko ki Tiupai, I pureanga whakatātaha kuia o Alepea. I kai kuia pe kulolo Tonga iai, pe na iai foki I he weekendi foki a mele Oliveti, a ko mele wheniu Oliveti, ai o kua ana ia kautaha koia koe wheniu, pe e kaumoia I he whepōtarano aki ana yange. O kuiai pe foki pe moe whakaekeke, moe ofisa kolo kuia o moto eweiki, o whelawe pe moe nao polokalama whakamaa o kulo Tonga hoko I he motu kuia. Koe aho aniafi I Australia ni, koe aho malolo whapuri anga ia, koe aho whawhanua koe o Australia, pia I aho aniafi na lavele lei foki ai kātuanga whaki pāre ma whakalangilangi koia au moletio ma televisione Pasifika, ai nei whakahoko ia I Brisbane, pia o ke malawa o toi mamata mai ki ai, I he tau pēsi koia he tohi whawonga pia mo YouTube. Koe manu au kuia e HMS atalaite o si taulelei ki Tonga pe o ska mata foki hono whakahifo kuia o ngahi nau tokoni ki a tau ki whanua me waka koini, ko waka pe koini ko si lui o ngongo fokia I Australia pe he foki ki Tonga, koe uhika tokalahi kuia o kaukau waka o kanau whaka o tua I e COVID tāhiwa. O si kake foki e tokalahi ke toko unga fuluma hiva o kanau whaka o tua he COVID tāhiwa pe o ku mei whonu foki ai ki whare mahaki kuia I loto he manu au koini, au whiunga ia moe anga e whanoa I loto. Maratui foki o ki ai moe tokanga makehe kuia ai purianga Australia, pe moe purianga Tonga whakatoloua, koe uhike malu ia Tonga me COVID tāhiwa niongo, ai mahu inga kuia o polokalama tokoni, moe polokalama whakamaa ki o tau ki whanua. Ko whakatukuange mai foki mei he ofisi o e talawhikaulahi o Australia ki Tonga mei nuku alofa ko Rachel Moore, ai ongongo koini, ai koe ongongo fokieni, me he aho aniafi, aho ano saluari wafe ma uoua, kai toki whakahoko atu pe ia. I hono whakailonga I aho whawhanua koia Australia I he aho ni, ai koe aho aniafi fokia, o ko mao tangane ia, I he loto toa moe wawe ai ngā ue a Tonga, ki he whakaake hiriange ai whainga taa me puna koia ai mō ngā whi, I hunga Tonga hunga haapai, whakataha moe piau kulene hake I aho taha nima koia o Sanuari. O ko mau ofeina ai ngahi whaamiri ko mole honau ofa anga, mo ki nau tolu foki ko mole honau whare nofo anga mo nau koloa, tupo me he whakatamakini. O ko mau veke ke tokoni mo poupou ki Tonga mo ne ngā ue ki he whakaake me he whangataa na e hoko. Ko tau lahi pe wā ofi au pito e wā whingawe ake Australia mo Tongani. O ko tau inasi loua pe I he mālohi o tau lunganga whakawhonua, kawai e tau whehokotaki whakawhamiri, ko tau wā whingawe ake whakasipoti mo e tau manako I he mea tokoni o ku vovo. O ku whawhiawhia e mau whanongo ai ngā ue mālohi e toko tolu mano koe mai kaumei mipa koia o e community Tonga I Australia ke tokoni mai ki o nau ngahi whaamiri ma kainga I Tongani I e ngahi aho ko toki o si. O ku tokoni lahi e tau whawhingawe aki whakasotia ki ono whakalakalaka I a iwi iwi malawa kuia I he ngahi whatongia whakasotia mo e malu kuia e whalautahi, hange kuia o whakatou I he kau ofisa Australia mo e nau tokoni atu kuia ai ngahi whare I whakatikinikare, mo e pou I ngahi ngāwe lalahi ai potu ngāwe ai kau tau kuia a ene a fio. O ko mau pole I he whatongia mahu inga, o ko ngā ue whakataha e sotia Australia mo Tonga. I ono o mai a ngahi waka leo ke tokoni ki ono malu I ai potutahi kuia o Tonga, pe tari ui foki ki ngahi fia ma o tokoni I he whakatamaki whakainatula o hange kuia na tau toki mamata tonu ki ai. O kui heni a Australia ke tau whetoni aki whakataha, e o ku tau whāmiri, pia ku tau lahi mau pōpou ki whakalakalaka i tongani, pia te mau hoko atu ai ki he kaha u. Koe tau whinga awe aki e whatongia whakapolisi o tokoni ia ke tau ia e whai tō kona tapu pe whakalele i mo ngā ue ki ona tau ta ofi ai tā mo e whamamahi koe au hoko i api mo i community. Koe polo kalama ngā ue ki he maoanga iwi ala whakafo ou i he tuku i motu koe o tokoni lahi ia a Australia ki e langa mohona whakatu o ngāhi sola e api ke he. A motomotu mo whakalele i whoki ai ngāhi laine o tu whaki ai e maoanga iwi. I kai ko ia pe, kau kukau i he ngāhi tokoni Australia hona whakamalohia ai whaunga ngā ue ki e mo uilelei kai whakate whito. I he ngā ue ki ngāhi whakatua i kai ki pe pihi mo i tuunga mateu teo a tonga ki COVID tāhi wā. Ko e langa whaka-ekonomika o ku mau tokoni ai ki e kakai whakafou mai i he mau whainga maari e ngā ue ki Australia ai o kui kai ngata i he ne tokoni ki whakalakalaka i ngāhi ngā ue anga i Australia. Ko kulanga hake ai tupu whaka-ekonomika i tongani whakalahi e ilo mai tau kei ngā ue pehe ki iwi whakapaanga i ngai whāmiri mo kakai tonga o ku nau maua e whainga maari e ngā ue. O ku whepopo aki aho tau ongo whanua i he taimi whangataa mo i taimi monu ia i ahoni whoki o ku maa whana Australia ke whakahoko atu malo e ngā ue o whātu. Pe o whamoni hingoa ki ai Talawhika o lahi koia o Australia ki Nukalofa Tonga ko Rachel Moore, Her Excellency Rachel Moore. Pea ko tohe koia nei tukuangi mai he aho au no koia o Sanuari wawhe ma ua. Kai kea ki hua tuene ta whai tuu aki pe hiri koia e whailewa whenga ki Tonga ki loki o ngongo koia ai Broadcom Broadcasting Walu Whitu, Poine Nima, FM. I kona lahi he whakotua sell internet. Whoke laine telefoni ki Tonga, pe ke hoko atu ai pe ai mau whenga koe ki ai ke maua ki whakamatala mai ongongo mei Tonga ki he ahoni. Kani o ngui o ke i lele matangi whoke a mea kotoa. Koe ni o kotoi pe kua whainga maari e tau laine telefoni ki Tonga i he taimini. Kai lava lewa ke whakahoko atu kuia ai tau ngahi o ongongo mei Tonga ki ahoni. Pe o fia ke tau kao mai i he whainga maari e koe ni. Pe mo Katarina Wili Tohi mei he loki o ongongo kuia ai Broadcom Broadcasting Walu Whitu Poine Nima FM. Kini o mai ai whakamumui taha mei Tonga ki Hawani. Katarina, o tai whangamari koe ni ke o mai tau ngahi o ngongo mei Tonga ki he Hawani.
Malo apito sureni te ako kore te o hofana i ngahi whatap ko tau te o tau whake atu nei he whaleni ka tamo ke whahoko atu. Ai ngahi o ngongo klawa te tātāna ke atu mei Tonga ni. Kei ke hange koia koe ngahi o ngongo koia ko tuku atu i ngahi aho. Ko tau situ a mei ai. Mei koe mea koka te taimini. Ke i lere pe whoke e whakamaa koia o e ngahi api. Ke ngahi api ako, ke ngahi api whapure anga. Ke ngahi kolo, me ngahi te itu ko toko hiko e he fulahi mo e uri koia. Leo kamata ke maa mai e kolo pia mo e whanua whalo kufua. Ka ko ke lahi pe whoke ai e fuia. Ko e whamatala koe me kau ngawe ai waatamatea fe pot ngawe polisi o kuna ulawa ki ngahi api ako ko ngā whoke ko e ngahi api ako fotu uia i wiki kahau te aku whaino ni masi whoki ko ngā ki whakamaa ngai api ako ko e manawasi i ki he whanau ko i ka nau whoki ko ia ki he ako ta o kapau ko ke e fua ngahi api ako moe ngahi wheitu pehe e matu aki whatu tāmaki ke whanau. Te tokonia e kau ngāwe koe e tāmate awhi, pe ke kau tawa ni awhio, ngahi wa ngāwe ke hepe, ngahi kulupu ngā e ofa ke tokoni ki he whakamaa ko ia o uri pe mo efu I ngahi api ako ko ia I Tongani tau te pito ki ngahi api ako lau tohi pure anga. I taimta tau pe o ko amanaki foki ke whai e pe hono tāpua ki I pe mo whaata ai api ako fo o ko ia a Tonga Side School ai ni o kutu uia I api mataka ko I whaitu fo o ia o ko hiki ki ai Tonga Side School I he api mataka ia I Havelu waha ako Havelu ko ia pa motofoa o ko tu uai ai api ako fo o ko Tonga Side School pe ako ia ia pe mo office fo o ko ia o I poto ngā ui ako kai ke he o ko kei hoko atu pe foki ala venga maari e pure anga o Tonga e ngahi tokoni me ngahi fonua ko ia I tu o pure anga kai uma a foki a ngahi foaki ofa me ngahi wa ngā ue fo wa pure anga hangi ko e 8 miliona Amerika me panke ko ia a mamani ko e tokoni ke whatamaki whafokfa e puna ko ia ai a fi I honga tonga o hunga haapai o ko mato aki honga ia e pure anga o Tonga ai tōpuri mai a ngai ofa me tokoni ka whakafa ko toa pe ko la venga maria e whanua mi tō pure anga e hiri pe ko ia ai whaingata a koe ni na e hoko e au tokonaki a tānima Sanuari wanoa wowa. Tau te fitoe ni ke panke koe a mamani I e tokoni koe paanga Amerika koe e 8 miliona ko lawe koe ki ai ke lawa e pure anga o matatari e whaingata a whafokfa mo whakakake koe ia ai whanua. E ngahi tokoni pēni whaksurieni o klavai e pure anga o matua a ngahi mawhasia anga whafokfa pe whawhio ko taki mga I te wtoi whatongia ne motohia motokoni e ngai whamiri na uesia lai taha I ngahi nau tokoni pe ke ngai whare na whaanga whakataimi mai whakalato o I mau anga paanga tokoni eni na whawhau mai ia e polokalama tokoni mahanga e whakalato ai patseti mai whaunga ngā ue ke matu uaki o whaingataa e mawhia ai e tonga ke ne whaau ngai I a hoko ha whakatamaki ai a koe mea ngāui ma teu ko ia o kone whakaata a tonga ke whakaai a ngā se mau viviri e taimi o ke mau tahai. Kai ke koe ngahi honga ia toko ke ange a na whakaha ko ia I he whakasinga e wike ko o si ai toko ni make heia me he pange ko ia a e sia whiunga me whaanga tonga e ua 0.7 miliona nai ka koe tānaki. Koe whakakatoa o ngai paanga toko ni ko ofia tuia. Ia ni manoa miliona he tōko he taimini. Tō ke hange ngai toko ni ofa ko ia whahoko mai. Mei tō pure anga hange ko Australia, ko Nosila, ko Siaina, ka maafo ka Siapani, pehe ki Amerika mangahi whonua anga maheni pehe. Koe taha I he ngahi mea ko ia o whai e tokanga ki ai. Ko uhi pe foki ko tu unga ko ia o I whonua kei whiongo aki pe ai whie maulahi taha ko ia o I vai inu. Koe ngahi na whaanga whakataimi ko ia o kanau tolu na naulava mai ko ia pe whetukutuku mai ko e mei hapai hange ko ia koe kainga mei mango, kainga mei no muka nengo koe tokolahi nau ki no whate nau tolu I no muka kai maafo ki a nau tole kainga koe mei atata toko ke heange a ke nau tolu koe ni I whakahihifo hange ko haatafu kano kupolo te mo ahau o ko lava pefo ki he pure anga ke ne whaaki a tokoni vave I tokoni whakaseniti ai a tokoni e ki ti ngai whamiri o ke ai ai ngahi apiako ko ako e nau whanau I Tongani ko ngaki whakalawalawa hange ko nau ako kai uma ai te unga ako mo ngahi mea pehe ngai whie mau viviri pehe nai pehe me pure anga e toi ai pe ai tokoni ka e mga tuunga pe I anga ko ia o nau wakai ko kongalahi ngai tokoni me toa pure anga e whai ako no langa o ngahi api no fo anga he mahino pe foki ko e ni ihi ko e ni ia hei kai peke nau te lava nau tō luia o foki te o nau ngahi tuku I motu. o ko whanganga pe he palani ko ia ai pure anga pe ngai aki mo nau tola ka mau tofi a ko hi pe ke whai ha tokoni ke se kakai ko e ni. E ngahi o ngongo ko ia me ngahi apitanga lahi au pito nai tokoni ko nau ina sia i tau te fito pe ke wala kai uma a foki ai tokoni ko ia au taki me tō pure anga ko ngahi me ngai nau ke haisini e kai ke ngatai ko ngahi nau me akai iai pe ngahi nau e tokoni ke nau whakama ako ho nau ngahi api pe ngahi nau e au ngā au pitoia ki a tōha nau whanki ngoe vesta polo ngai me api e taimi wawe koe ni pe a pehe ma te nau tōru ngai aptanga koe ni o ku whanga ki ai a nau tōru koe nai whaingata ia pe o kurotonga whaingata ia mahalo koe me alahi pe o nau whē mao hange koe a koe vai ka au maa foki ai vesta polo koe ngā ke tokoni pe tono koki koe a e nau mea tokoni o ku holoi tō ngai o whae ma ngai tokoni o tatau i ngai tokoni paanga pe hao me tokoni me pure anga te kehe pe ma ngai tokoni ia me ngai wa ngā ua ma ngai ka taha koe ia o ku nau whoaki koe ki a te nau tōru koe ngahi waka koe a ko tu uta mai koe ki noko alofa o ku toko kehe ngahi waka koe a manua me pure anga Australia kai uma a foki ai waka siapani pe foki ki siaina lahi au pito ai ngahi tokoni nei foki ai hange o ko whai hohaa ko hi koe waka koe me Australia manua Australia a te laite ko hi ko ene kau folau ai ko ngai o kau sotia o nau ma o koe ai COVID te tahiwa kana o swaba pau i pe me pot ngai mo wiki o te mau hohaa ko ia ka kau folau ko ni ki na hui fo me na tore ki ota te kono whahi fo ngahi ota whai pe hei ngahi misini te tuku pe ai o kolontini aho e tolu ai pe a toki whai hono toka ngai kina e kina o tolu ai kau ngawe kai ke heo ma opo pe pe a malu te ta ofi pe ai o ki kai ke hao hani ihia ki tu au hange koe mea koe nai whai ki ai hoha koe tuunga koe au kia e whanua whaloko pua e surien o ku mau ki wha ampe pe tō whakaku mai koa ai fu uhalahi koa fu uhalahi pe tene malawa kene fu fulu a te uri mo e fu koe he ko te whanonga koe halapure anga o ki tui pe kakai hona o mas te toko lahi o koe ke tui ha mas o koe ke iloi pe kunau pepe nau tore mahalo ke unga pepe o sai pe ia pe ua te nau mas ki nau tolu ia pe koa toi whahinga uhinga ke he pe ka koe anga ia o tu unga koe o kumau ia i koe i lolo tonga ni koe ngahi whamatala ongo e ni koe ngahi whotu utu ke ngahi palani whakaloko fua o kumau ke tatari pe tiai ka kumahino koe ngahi savea koe o ko whai ke tuku i motu mahalo e toki lava mai a ngahi hola ngai savea koe ia pa toki lava ki tuku atu hao ngongo te ha ika ke ngata whoki ai ke toki mau maria me iai koe ha a ngahi whotu utu koe ia ki he kahau ke o kute ki ai ke o mai ke hasina mai koe ha kai palani whakaloko fua e pure anga koe ni ke kahau pehe pure anga tuku ke ura toka nga e fu e fu koni mo fu uri koni o ku to whanga e whanua kai toki wakai atu koe ha ai u palani koe te nau hanga ko o whakahoko koe palani whakaho pen o ku mau kamata atu ai mahalo koe ngahi o hongo pe ia o kulawa ke o atu e taimini e suriani koe ngahi me anga maheni pe ia o ku whea koe pe mo whanua he taimini
Catalina, ka tawha mone more, na mau mamata atu foki me Australiani ki homo whakaeke eke pe mo proklama foki pe mo ongo whawawhonga koia mei he potungawe sioloki i Tonga. Pe lawe i pe koe whamatala koia ongo ofise koini, koe munga fi koini ai hunga tonga hunga hapai, ok mo ui pe. Pe koe taimi koe nei hoko ai pe au kula i Tongana, ko maratu i nei hao foki i he taungahi o ngonga mei hena, o whekau aki pe i kaike ai hangahi alarm systems koe ni ai pe au kula, koe whakatokanga ki e kakai i he mata whanga i o ko teo ke ke hake mai hape au kula I Tongana. Koe uhi ko tōunga ia o kulorotonga iai a hunga tonga hunga haapai. O ku iai ha ngā ue pe ko hau pe ku whainga maaria e tau purianga ma lawe I pe nau whi moe kina he polokalama tokoni. Pe ku whai ha ngā ue ki e tawha aki ke whakalele I ange ai ngai sistemi ko e whakatokanga pe au kula ki e kakai pe moe tūkunga ko ia o whitukutuku kakai ki loto whanua he lawe I pe na e whi hiai hala. I moto foki, ai laine. Lina, o kuke ongo na pe?
Ia, hange ki motu.
Kai ke he io. Ka koe wakai pe te lava o omiha ki whamatala o whekau aki pe tau pe he koe palani talifaki mo mateu o katoi hoko pe hape au kula I Tonga pe koe hātoku ngai. Io, koia.
Ia, koe tuunga lo tonga fuka whate hui koe na saika nau tōlu. Pe koe hae winga mena ke lea siren. E nai whamatala foki ai minister koe pot ngai mei teki. Koe taim pe koe ni koe na e oho angi ai koe ai pā koe ni koe ai puna koe mo ngā whi pana ene tu uni ai pe ke kamata a hono whaalea koe o ngahi siren. Ka laka kia ha siren ia na e rea. Pana maha koe mea o haki press conference ko tau pe. Ko haka mea na ke lea ai siren. Pe koe mea kutara mai koe e he kabineti. Koe ngahi siren ia koe project ia. Pe koe ngā aue ia ai pure anga siapani. Koe tokoni ai pure anga siapani ki Tongani. Pana ki lo tonga whakahoko ai ngā aue koe kia hono whakotuu. Kana I whie mau ai kau siapani ia. Me siapani ke nau whlau mai ki Tongani. Ke ai e siren ke rea. Hena te gai ke kakato ai ngā aue. Pea koe uhi foki koe tau toloi koe I he ngahi wakapuna koe ke nau hao ki Tongani koe hui koe COVID-19. Kai foki tāria ke hao ai ngahi wakapuna. Foki ai koe ngā lockdown ni koe a Tongani. Pea toloi ai pe ai wholau me koe kau siapani. O a o mai pe ke taimini. O te gai pe ke nau wholau me nau toria ki Tongani. Pea ikai ke ngata foki ai. O ku kei lorotonga sai e ngā ue ko ngā ke whakawe ha nau hao ki Tongani o whalau mai. Ko ngā ke whakakakato e nau polokalama koe ni ko ngā ke rea pe ngā ue a ngā hi siren. Ko tu koe taimini o kai peka siren ia. Pea ka pau e te tō mai ha mea tatau me mea koko si tuan. Koe te hotu ke taha pe ko whia ngai siren ia koe na e whaarea pe he taimi koe.
Koia.
Ka koe mea koe project kon ko ngaua siapani. Koe taimi pe koe ni koe e lea a siren. Pe o hao whakataha I pe ia e re tio. O ilo e taha kotoa. Kai ke hange koe kulau e surien he ngai ngon koe ko o atu. Koe monu ia anga koe o tonga koe hoko. Ai mea koe ni ko tau.
Ko ia hange pe o ki moto mai foki ai tau laine ki Tonga, koe koe whainga pe ha klose atu ki ai. A tunga ia koe whihi foki ai tau laine interneti ki ho tau ki I whanua tupuanga ki Tonga. Ko ia hoko atu koe Katarina, na ki moto mai ai laine ka ke hoko atu pe koe.
Ko ia. Hange koe mea koe na kulawe koe ki ai, koe whamatala koe na e o mai. Koe proseki koe ia. Ke siren, koe mea e kau siapani, pe au whie mau e ke whalau mea kau siapani, ke ai e siren ke rea. Ke koe I ngā te ke kakato. Kana e tupu ai ikai koe ke nau lava whalau mai. Ko hi koe lockdown ni koe a Tongani, o ke koe ke lava ke nau hao, ke nau tolu ki Tongani. Kau whai se inga na lava ke nau hao. Neo ne o saipe ngā siren nia ki mua, ka koe project for all nia koe na ngā ue maa siapani. O ke ngata he lea ngai siren, ka iai ngai signologia iai, tene hanga ia e ia, o hao, automatiki pe ngai whatoka ngā I he retio. Ka koe paupare maa foki e surien, o ke keke ha siren ia I he taimi nia. Koe mea lewa koe o whai kei toka ngā, koe monu ia koe a Tongani ia whawhetai he eiki, koe si hova pe pare tua. E nai hoko mai he taimi pe he ni, hake koe taimi ni, Lai hoko mai o ki aho au pito. O lava he kakaio, e kakaio whanongo ki he. Pahu mai ko ia ai puna e mo ngā fi. Te an lava kakaio sio ki hao koe ai tahi ka nau lere. He ka pau nei hoko e taimpo uri. Kai ko kia hasarin ka ila hataha. E toko lahi e kakaia e mate. Tau te whito aki nau tōko nofo e ngahi matawhanga. He koe hao koe ai tahi hao peo a o mai te ngahi loto whare. E suri e nie, hange koia. Ka koe mo, o ka kia hasari ne taimin. Pakatoi hoko ha mea, o ka peka hasari nia ke ne whakaongo mai.
Koia. Pero mea taha e Katarina, koe tautala no koe niki he whakatokanga pe au kula i Tonga. Nai whewhe ai wakai koe a purianga ki he whetukutuku e kakai ki loto whanua. He koe ngahi whamatala ku mau mai me whaleni me he kakai koe i Tongana. Koe nau tala noa ki e kiu ai hala wa ope ki loi lalo ai ni ihi. Pe koe na wa ope ki mataki e ua ia. Tapu pē mo e lau maari lelei o e tahine kuini. Ka i kai koe api whakatu i koe ko vila, o kai kia hawhare huwhanga ia si kai ngā ki nau si i whetukutuku ki ai lawe i pē koe taimi nei, uha mai a efu ko ia me he mo ngā whi. O kia hawa kai ko ia ai tau puri a ngā pē koe nimo, ki hapalani ma teu teu o ka toi hoko pe au kula mo e vela ko ia mo ngā whi pe i kai?
O ku whakahoko pe whoki a ngā ue, pia o ku ia e whakafofua, koe ngahi sehui koe nā o ku tautou eke pe whoki. Koe hana i nau palani i lele loloa, pe langa ko hinga he koe tsunami, ko no me a pe ko whenga pe ke ngai se tu marungangi. Pe kua ha whakakaukau ke langa ha ngahi holo la la. Ngai whare huwhanga pe he i ngahi se tu pe he ni. Pea koe tāri kou na o mai, o nau whakakaukau pe ki ai. Ka o kui keke pe mai i o e langa hangahi pea pe. Ka koe mo o ni, o nau whakakaukau ki ai. Ka o kute keke whakapapau i mai e langa ai ngahi mea koia.
Koia. E malo pito Katarina ko ilo e ku whemo e kina o pito ho taimi pe o mahonga ia ma o pe o whakata mai koe ho taimi ke o mai a ngahi o ngongo hangi koe lau ia koe kainga Tonga i Australia ni mo muri ni foki o ku mau fofia kaia au pito ke o ngongo me Tonga taimi ko toa pe ma mai o ngongo ku lau ia koe monu pe mo whakatupu fia ke whanongo ke mea whamui mo i taha o hoko i ho tau ki i whanua. Malo au pito.
Ia, ofa tulen malo.
Ofa atu. Ko Katarina wile tohi fokia e koe pure e whai o ngongo fokia ai Broadcom Broadcasting valo fito poini nima FM ko e leti o whinga au e aki fokia ai leti o mo televisione Pasifika me Australia hono whakahoko mai ai ngahi o ngongo whamu me taha me Tonga ki aho ni to pule lulu kono wa fito saluari wa whi mau ua ko mau taimi i Brisbane hawhe ai whae fiafi kai hawhe ai ni ma i Sene pe foki ki Melapoane pe mo Kenpela pe ko me hoko foki ai fitu e fiafi i Nuusila pe he foki ki Tonga i he ahoni. Whakatawangi pe o kuongole lea te polokalama ni ki ate ke mo tolo kotoa. Ka e whainga maari e koe ni e whakahoko atoa ki i whakaeke eke mai office kolo o Eweki. Ko e ongongo koe ni na e tukuangi mai i he pesi media sosiale koia i he tohe fofonga a Mori Tonga pe osi koia te toki foki mai pe tau hoko atu mai tau polokalama.
Koe motua koe ni koe motua tahu kakai ene ki motu koe weki motua usi. Koe motua koe ni koe no ingoa koe sin patamuri. Koe motua koe ni koe motua tahu kakai ene ki motu koe weki motua usi akolo ni o weki. Koe mea koe nai hoko. Koe ke ilo e pe ke yaha mea pe he hoko. Koe e fu lahi whakamana wahe. O hoko ke funga fonua. O una foko mo kainga he tainimi. Ko sio ke una puputu. O kai ke more ai me a kona na usio tonu ai pe kula. Kai ke more ia me atik na to he tainimi. E ko no foko he tainimi ia ko ne ki hoko pe haki pa ulu ha me ta ko pe au pe. U te fano pe ko kainga u pe. Hange ka ha te pa ai mo nga fila. Ya ku fai be faro tola ga na tolu na lo tola hebe e kai hanga he o tua o liaki na tolu ya na ma no ki kai na mo ki motu ya fa ve tai be ke o tua ko wi ko ne omi pe ho tau tuha. Kai ke ne omi ha mea ke tau whaingata i ai. Ko ne tuu ko he tai ni me ki kāinga. O mau whaingata ia. Ko whaingata ia whe mau iwili taha mau ki kāinga. Ko kai kia mau whetu taki anga mai ki Tongan ni. Ko e whangi i waka ko e nai ngawa ke kāinga. O si hawe ki kātoa he pe au. Tau mai a nai whaha teu ki ai. Ke whai hano whenga i ha whetu ko e ki ngari maluange. Talu e hoko e ai palopare ma o se wike taha. Te kai kia hata hai kāinga ko hau ki Tonga. Koe kāinga koe nau nofo ko he motu. O hange peha nau nofo ana tori Tonga lahi. A hoko toa peu nau hau ki Tonga ni. Pea hoko koe ne palopare ma koe ni o tai ao ngai whangi waka e ki kāinga. O kui kai ke te aha kāinga e hao. Kau taha koe mōti Tonga ko nau tolu nau siwhai ange tokoni whakawaka. O ange mau ki fie mau. O ange mau mei vai. O ange mau mea tokoni. Pea lawa i ku he kamai ai. O whai ai whenga ki he hamea ki whawhurawa ki he kāinga. Ai koe whi mau vivili a koe o ku vivili taha he tainimi he kāinga koe waka. Mōni pe vai mo e mea koe whi mau ia koe mea. Ka koe uhi koe vai ia mau ange pe mo e mea. Koe waka whi mau vivili au pito. Teke mahi no e pe koe haa e mau. Pe mau ha waka pe kai. O whai pe whenga horo ngahi upot ngawe. Nai ai hai tokon whawaware. Koe uhi whoki koe mei koe whi mau ia e kāinga. Ko nau hala mai a ki Tongan ni. He kai ke nau hao na to ki Tongan ni hao o puna mai ha hapea. Koe waka te nau hao ai. Ai ko whi mau vivili ta hai ai kāinga e taini. Koe waka ke mau haki waka ke whai a ke ngawe mo whono ngā ki horo ki kai. Ko si whamatala nou pea ko o atu. Ie ahoni. Pea mou tolu koe mou sio mai ki he whamatala koe ni ku whai. Kono mō ni neongo ku koe ki mea. Ka ku si whakao whai kāinga. I he ngai fie mau koe ni ku whai ke whakaukau. E fie mau whakawaka. Whakao wha. Ngai pe whangai whamiri. O ofa lahi ati ngai whamiri muri. O whanau. O whanau i Amerika. Whanau i Australia. Koe mau sai pe moe kāinga. Koe ke iahe taha na kai ke iahe taha e lawea. Pe iahe taha e more ni mo ui. Mau ke sai pe mau ilo pe ke iofi pe o tua. Whai pe mau tauhi. Neo ngoe mau tono nou. Kau ku ke hanga pe o tua. Whai mau tauhi e mau nofo ki funga makani. Ko o whalahi atu e ringi mo tolu ka atoa pe. Maro au pito.
Pe i he kautaha koia koe Mōri Tonga, pe hange koia na tau whanongo mai ki ai e kāinga niongo pe o tau whawhetai ki eiki, ko ki toko tolu pēne ue sia na omo ui i he whakatamaki whakanatula koe ni, pe i kai ke toko lahi ange, ka i he taimita tau pe o ke tūla hoko ai pe ai mau lahi ki ngai whitu koia i he otu Tonga o hange koe otu motumua, mango, tungua, nomuka, whanoifua, pe foki ki tonga tapu, wheituu ki hihifo, kanukupolu, hatafu, foi vahinga ko ia, kai uma a foki a atata, pe mo e weiki, pe foki whawha, kai uma a foki a panga e motu, o ki ai ngahi mau ko hoko, pe kai ko ngata pe, o ku mau ai ngahi apinofu a ngā, pe mo ngahi maonga mo ui ai kakai, me he kele, pe he foki ki ho nau ngahi api ngā we. Ko eua foki wafu nā whanua, ako toki osi hono huvi mo whakalelei ki ngahi tau ngahi mahina ki muini mai, ko osi mau au pito pe ia pe lahe ngahi whane mo api ngā ue, ko mau i e piau kula koi ni, pia whawhetai pe ke eiki, au kua whio lelei pe e tamatui, koe hau o tutonga, King Tupo Wono i he whongofonua ku eua, pe koia foki o kune toka e kina, e polokalama tokoni koia ki he whongofonua ki eua. Ia honi foki na e lava lelei hono whakahoko mo whakawhihoka taki, e kautaha whituta koia tonga e Digicel, a interneti ki e kotoa koia o tutonga. Whatatau ki whakamatala koia e Digicel, na nau tukuangi mai i he nau pesi whahaupe, o nau pe he, koe ongongo whakamawhana ma whakawhiawhia kai kainga tonga kotoa pē I he o tongani, koe uhiko lava lelei foki hono toi whakawhihoka take interneti, mai kau customer kotoa pē ai Digicel. Ai oku mahino whi me I he ongo koe ni, oku malawa foki a tau kāinga o whetohi aki e Messenger, wakai foki ai tohi whawonga, mo ngahi whitu take ke pē o fōmai I he interneti. Alupe ngahi aho ia mo ngā unu ki mua, ngai whakalakalaka I he polokalama tokoni koia ki he whanua. Ka koe taha foki ha mea na tau toto o mai mo tau wakai ki ai, me whakaeke ke koe ni ai office kolo me ewe ki, ai haveki koia ai ngahi wakatahi. Mana tui foki, koe tukui mo tu, koe nau mawanga mo ui ai tau mātau. Ai ok fia maua au pito pē ai waka ke whai ake a ngā ue ko ia. Pē koe kakai kāinga koia me tukui motu koe ni o koe nau mawanga me tokoni foki ko tahi. Pea koia ai o koia ai tokanga make he foki e tawha koe ni, pe hange ko whamatala ma ngahi o ngongo mea Katarina Wilitohi I he whiawhini o ku where ngahi waka mo ngai manuao me ngai whanua mori, si aina pe foki si apani, Tonga pe monu usila o kuna o tuu pe o mateu teu pe ke tokoni I kakai koe o hatau whanua I he taimi mo hoa whangataa koe ni. Ko kai mo ngai fia mao taimi no, mo ngai fia mao taimi loa. Mo tolo koe o mo mea mai ki polokalamani ka pau ki ai ha mo amanaki ke ave ha mo ofa ki Tonga. Ko se hanga foki he ofisi koe eiki talawhika o lahi o Tonga ki Australia me Canberra, ka koe tahine princesi lātou foi peka tuku aho I hono whakamawhai ipe me he pureanga Tonga I Nukualofa, ke whakaava foki a kauni panke ke o mai ki ai ho mo ngahi ofa ki o tau whamiri ma kāinga I Tonga o fau mai I he pureanga Tonga. E toki tuku I atu I he screen he taimini ai whika koia oi akauni, ai koe hingo akauni, koe High Commission of the Kingdom of Tonga, pea koe account designator ia koe Whakaliku Tonga Relief Fund. Whakaliku Tonga Relief Fund, pea koe BSP koea ai akauni koe ni, koe Noa Tolua Fito Taha Tolu. Noa Tolua Fito Taha Tolu, ai koe Westpac Woden Centre I Canberra, pea koe whika koea oi akauni koe Nima Tolu Fito Valu ni mahiva. Nima tolu fitu, valu ni mahiva. Whainga ofa peo ke fia ave ki Tonga, o ke tau talanoa ki ave whakafoitui pe ke taha ho whamiri. Koe ave ene ki polokalama whakalukfua e pureanga Tonga ke tokoni I hataha pe I he u area koe ni na osi lawe ki ai ke mao e tokoni koe whika a kauni. Ka bau iai kau papalangi pe, kau muri mo api ngā ue nau talata nau fie ave nau ofa ki Tonga, o ki ai ha kauni koe ke refer ki nau tolu ki ai I he taimini. Kai ke he, o ku fia foki e polokalamani pe mo leti o mo televisione Pasifika ke pou whewheka ki he whari ari whakamāmani lahi koe o kui loa ko Expo au wawhe māua noa. Niongo pe ai ngahi whakatata pui koe COVID tāhiwa nai to loi foki ai Expo, kei ui pe ko Expo wawhe māua noa, ko ku whakahoko ia ka mata me he tau wawhe māua taha, tau ku osi, pe toki osi e ki wike whaka osi o maasi o tau ni wawhe māua ua. Pe o ku lawenga maari e foki a Tonga e nau mao hafo pare whaka ofa whakaholo mamata mo maari e foki au ku tuu ia I loto maari e I he feito koe neu whaiki ai Expo au wawhe māua noa. E ho eiki mo kainga, koe Expo, koe fufota o eni, ko kau mai ke Expo koe ni, ai whanua ke kehe e te au hivaua. Te au hivaua. Aia e tunga koe au ku lau ene koe Expo lahi taha I mamani. Pea koe pare koe ai community Tonga, pea whanua ko Tonga, o ku whakalele fokia e he ampastua koe o Tonga ki he pureanga whakatataha koe ale pea, pea koe United Arab Emirates ko Akau Ola, His Excellency, pea whoki ki ono hoa asu Akau Ola. Ai o kona toi mao whakatoloa la kanga koe komisiona, pe me tokoni komisiona ia ki he whare Tonga I he Expo wawhe māua noa. Kai kehe, o ku mao whoki hene ngahi whainga maalie whe whakatau aki, bisinisi, pe mo e whakari ari o ngahi koloa, hotau kainga Tonga. Io, pe o ku kau whoki hene a mele wheniu Olivetti, ai o ku iai ne ngahi klimi I loa, o ku ngahi mehe lolo, mo tui, pe mo ahi. Kai kehe o ku lolotonga I tiu pai he taimini, pe na e mao whoki whangamari polokalamani ke whai hawhi pō talanoa aki moia ane nai, ke toki wahi atu mamo tolu I he wahaupe.
tatak me ta fononga I hinga to. Ako karewa ni me whakarotolahi ka mautoro koe ni he ni ko hinga hoki ko expo lo tonga lere he tainimi. Ia whalere Deputy Commissioner, pa mau he nye pa mo mere Olivete me wheniu mo me a. So it's hard to move on to continue something when o te ngoi ulawe a toroto te tokang ko to family mo te umea ko especially ko to whanua. Ka koe mea pe te sio pope ki te sio ki mua ka loto pe o ne whakaloto lahi mea umea koe. Ai au mau pehe ko sio ko na mo whakakau na matana pe ma pastoa ki ai. Te ki tāpuni expo ai pare pavile ni Tonga. Ka tasi ke whawhenga ki Tonga umea koe ni pa ma te pehe pe hoko at pe ngā ue. Ka whai pehe ofisie ta whako ofisi. Ta whako ni ofisi ni as whetu tak mai kau Tonga me whetu koe ni, kau Tonga me Seychelles, kau Tonga koe me India. O ke pe ki kainga Tonga toko si I Saudi Arabia mo mea. Aia koe mea pea ofisi ko whenga pe ke u reach out ka nau tolu. Ko sai whakana si mai ai first official update I kona pure anga. O wahe le mai ki tau konsela wharangangi koe India. Ke nhangia tufat ke kau Tonga koe ai. To keep everybody informed mea koe nu hoko mo mea. Pe hangi pe koe ko mea koe ne expo mau lele pe ngawe ke hokokat pe ngawe. Ka te whakahoko rewe tutaki mo mea ki Tonga. Paka ngongo whawhiawhia ni te sio te interneti mo mea. O mo whalotola he maa motor me Australia mea. Paka ni kulawa ke connect ke Digicel. Lawa ke kamata ke rea te kakai ni mo mea. Ka o pehere anga whanga mare ka su ke te hoka tuia. E tānoe ke ngau kona expo ko hoka tu mo mea. Aloha pitsu.
Malo apito e sonata I he mao e whenga maari koe ni pe he whoki ki ngahi le whalotolahi mei hena pe o kumau tala monua I tai pe ki hoi kainga tonga kotoa pe I he area ko iau e hahaki lo roto ange na ke lawe ki ai pe tu siloni pe whoki e saute arepea pe whamalo ato ku keki hatai maungo I o kumau tue noa pe o kumau tuu tokataha maungo I pe o kutau kawhataha kotoa kainga tonga me turi ke wha kotoa mamani pe kau ia whamawhana ia ho mea mai koe nā mei hena ke kau ia I whalotolahi ke kainga tonga o ku whanonga mai mei tonga mga I wheitu ke hepe. A special thank you there to Sonata Tupou for those words of encouragement. It is encouraging to hear that despite this natural disaster that's currently affecting the people of our small island kingdom and the diaspora overseas who are so desperately trying to reconnect back home, it's encouraging to hear those words and to hear that, despite thoughts and prayers for home, but you guys are doing such a great job over there, keeping our Tongan communities around the Middle East informed. And not only that, but continuing the wonderful work at Expo 2020 in Dubai, which is an absolute fantastic success. I know it's not over yet, and I do intend to get there before it's finished, but it's a fantastic work. So credit goes to the Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner of Expo 2020 for our Tongan Pavilion, which is also His Excellency Ambassador Kauola and Sua Kauola for the fantastic and outstanding work you're doing. And I must admit that I'm a little bit envious that my very, very close friend and a relative of our family, Mele Fina Olivetti, has beaten me over there to Dubai and to Abu Dhabi. And I'd like to, at this point in time, give an opportunity to the Deputy Commissioner to Su Akauola. If you could just share a little bit about some updates from Expo 2020 from that part of the world, and also introduce our special guest that you have currently with us at our Tongan Pavilion.
Thank you, Sule. And first, I must also express our sadness over what's happened with our little kingdom. And we, like so many others, have been watching the news and just scrolling social media, trying to find out what's happened with family and friends. And it's been very heartbreaking and very sad this morning when I start seeing photos of Nuku'alofa in the city and Dampuna Road and hearing what's happened on Pangaimotu and the other islands. So, but Tongans are resilient, and we, our part here is we're going to double down and we're going to make sure that we get some good investment going into Tonga, and we're looking for trade products to find new markets for here. So that's why Melly's here with her beautiful product. And we're looking for investment in Tonga for tourism, for energy. So that is our commitment. We're going to really buckle down even more and spend 24 hours a day now, not just 14, trying to do that. So yes, we've been blessed to have Melly here with her female product, and let me just talk to you about a little bit about the trade side of it for us. We need to have good products. We need to have quality products. It's a quality market. But we're not just trying to introduce good quality products into the UAE. It's all of the GCC countries that we're going to be accredited to. And in fact, we've been also this week meeting with the Foreign Trade Officer in Europe as well. And she's very passionate about getting some really good products out of Tonga. So when we're talking about good products, we're talking about good quality and also being able to provide the quantity of the product. So, sort of the halala vanilla type products. If it's a small quantity market, we would have to look for other markets for that because they're looking for continuous supplies for these big. And here we have this beautiful product of Melly's, and I sort of found this by mistake, her product, and I reached out to her and asked her if it would be something suitable for Expo quite some time ago, and she sent me a few samples. And they were just absolutely beautiful. And what I'm passionate about this product is that it's sourced from a youth group in Tonga. So that the main ingredients and so that's our connection with Tonga, and that's what I like seeing, is that we're helping the youth. So maybe let me tell you a bit about Tonga Expo too. We've just had over 140,000 people through the pavilion. So that's fairly much one for everyone in Tonga. Yeah, so it's been really busy, and we've had so much positive feedback. Everyone is so excited about our pavilion. It is really magical. It is really interactive. It sends a very powerful message in a very beautiful way. And all credit for the pavilion needs to go to Their Majesties, because it was them that drove this project and gave us all these great ideas. So, but I'll let you speak to Mary about what she's been up to in the last few days.
Definitely. Look, thank you so much to Suaka Ola, Deputy Commissioner of Expo 2020. We might come back to you a little bit further on the discussion. And I'd like to introduce Mele Fina Olivetti, all the way from Abu Dhabi. Last time we caught up, you were on the line from Sydney in Australia. So you've made it to the other side of the world. And well, first and foremost, tell us what's been your first impressions of Expo 2020?
Greetings to you, Suli. Thank you so much for this time. Expo, it's been magnificent. I'll tell you a little bit about my journey here. I found out on the plane about the devastating news about the tsunami hitting Tonga. And I almost felt a little bit lost once I arrived. Didn't know whether or not to continue pursuing, visiting the expo. And but then, after visiting expo and seeing how magnificent everything is and seeing the trade opportunities, I felt like the need more than ever was to get up and do the work. I've met so many amazing partners, potential partners here, and just to be able to experience what their excellencies have been able to do here has been absolutely wonderful. The platform they've been able to provide for the brand here, I see this as a big opportunity to help our kingdom back at home, particularly the youth who are from Sokol, and I understand would be one of the first to be hit. I visited many times the youth organisation in helping them create the oil, and we've reached out to Drew Havel and the youth. We've yet to hear back from them. But as soon as I couldn't sleep on the 14-hour flight here, I was on my phone to my team. I wanted to tell them we need to give our, try and help any way that we can. So we're dedicating 100% of our sales for this month to the youth organisation for Fenil. And the support has been really wonderful. And it's really lovely to see the world sort of rise up and support and experience, to be able to experience what the brand is able to offer to represent the kingdom, not only locally but internationally. It's been wonderful. So I like to thank, Sue and His Excellency Akaola, Sonata, the team here, been so welcoming, connecting us with leaders. Here's some of the founders of Dubai who have given me really uplifting hope, encouraging messages to keep doing the work for your country. And I give thanks to God that He's given me this new courage and this new drive to continue the work. And you really got to get over here, Sully, and experience it for yourself. I can't say more than that.
Before we come back to Expo, just for a moment there, you did mention that your team on the ground are based in Sopo. We know that Sopo is obviously one of the impacted areas from the tsunami. Are you aware of any damage at all to infrastructure or homes belonging to any of your team members in that area?
So I have yet to hear back from our direct contact. She is not sort of close to town. She's more towards the eastern side of Tonga. I have yet to hear back from anybody from Sopo, but we are like, other than the images that we've been able to see online, are just heartbroken. But still, it gives me a drive to continue the work here in order, once they clean up, and they will clean up, they're going to need the assistance, they're going to need the help, and we're going to do the work here on our part to help them once they're ready.
Before we talk about your product, what was your first impressions of I haven't seen it firsthand, I've only seen videos, but our amazing Tongan pavilion? What was your first impressions when you're in the middle of all these countries at the World Expo site, and then here's our little Tongan flag, and you're going into this like contemporary, amazing pavilion? What was your impressions?
I'll tell you what, it's really hard to articulate it, to be honest with you, because you walk through, and I was kindly greeted by Dele, who's been really lovely in dealing with me and organising us coming over here. He's walking me through, and I just see a magnificent, I can't even explain it, Sully, there's the music in the background, and the first pavilion you see as soon as you turn and you're walking down the alley to where the countries are, is Tonga, is like the first country. And Sue has done a fantastic job to get Tonga right at the front of entry of Expo in the opportunity section. But I was so wowed. I walked right up and I seen an image of the palace at the front, and I just got a sense of home. I saw our flag. It just makes you really proud. And I've been documenting this on my own social media and my team's social media, and we're taking people who aren't able to come and experience, and hopefully this will inspire a generation to get up and do the work, because obviously there is a platform. These guys have done the work to provide it, and the support is there for the work that is there. And I've been building Fenil for the last 3 years, and walking by faith, obviously, but to see that the work and the platform is here, the contacts are here, it's just, everything makes sense now, and it's such a rewarding feeling. And to be able to do something with that for our community is even more of a bigger reward. But yes, I can't really explain it. We're walking through, and everything is LED, everything is interactive with the computers, and they take you on the journey, and they've just done a fantastic job of advocating for our kingdom, environmentally educating the rest of the world about just what we have to offer and the challenges there.
Before I come back to you, I'd like to just jump back to the Deputy Commissioner for a moment, to Suakaola, because I know when we've had a previous interview with His Excellency shared about their Majesty's vision for the Tonga Pavilion, and in particular I'm referring to the trade opportunities, the economic and investment opportunities. So we have this quality product, Fenil, which you've brought over to the Middle East there. Give us a little bit of a taste of that vision, just to remind our viewers a little bit about what those opportunities are like in that part of the world? Because not everyone might be watching the program who are familiar with the Middle East and familiar with the kind of opportunities that a world exposition of this scale offers in terms of networking and partnerships.
Well, I think Melly's story sort of is indicative of what an expo is like. So Melly's met with Austrade, she's met with, and she's also working with the European market as well. And yesterday she met with the Saudi Arabia Commissioner General and has now contacts, and we'll be meeting them again this afternoon to take this further. So it's just all of these contacts and all of these opportunities to get your product into the market, get it set up in the market. See, Fiji have been here a lot longer than us, and they've got their Fiji water and pure Fiji here. So we need to get our good products here because it's a huge market. It's an absolute huge market. And if nothing else, that's what we are here for anyone that has a product that they think that would be suitable, please contact us. Just email us at the embassy and we're here for you. We're working for you to try and help you get your product onto a market.
Fantastic. Coming back to you, Mele, as mentioned there by the Deputy Commissioner, you had a meeting with some of the Saudi Arabian delegation yesterday. What's the taste, I guess, in terms of the branding and the market, I suppose I should say, in the Middle East? I know that you said that there's the European market, we know our Pacific market. What's the Middle Eastern market like in terms of your product, Fenil, beauty products in general? What are they looking for? And is it something that you believe Fenil fits a niche market in that part of the world?
So I know that here in the Middle East, they value beauty products, skincare products. They value their organic oils, luxury oils. And so I see this as a fantastic opportunity to offer them a premium oil from the Pacific Islands. I mean, a lot of the people out in these regions aren't familiar with the Pacific Islands. So to be able to offer them something really luxurious and really beautiful, the sandalwood and the coconut oil that is made by our youth, they've taken such a great interest in it. They think the product, I've heard lovely feedback about what they think about the packaging. They've tried the textures of the oils. I mean, we've done the work at Fenil to formulate on a world sort of class level. And so I felt this would be the perfect market to introduce. But, you know, in saying that, although this expo is in Dubai, this is actually the World Expo. We have exposure to the best of the best in the world. So, I mean, I'm not here for a very long time, but I've been training and speaking to the team, educating the team to do the work for us when we head back. And there's, I do look forward to seeing some connections and networks happening, even just to start a conversation and let them know that we're on the scene. And, you know, maybe perhaps we will go back and rework our strategy and see what they're looking for in different markets. But for the UAE in particular, they love beauty products, they love skincare products. And so I'm very much looking forward to introducing the brand here. And yeah, there's talks that we will do a launch here in the next month. I won't talk too much about that until we get some things concrete. But I'll go back to my team and we'll just liaise with the team here in the UAE and we'll keep you updated.
I think it's clear to say there's not many Tongan products on the market in the Middle East. So they're in terms of their expectations would be probably quite minimal because they would not be familiar with any products from our island kingdom. But the people that you've met so far over the Middle East, what has been their reception or response or your experience with them when you've been presenting the Fenil product? I did see some of your pictures on social media. I'm just curious, what was their response in terms of the product?
Very impressed, very curious. They would like to know what the base ingredients are, how it's produced. And so I explained to them that we source our ingredients. So I sort of give them a talk through about how Fenil has come about in order to be sort of recognised in the world, sort of in the beauty industry. You sort of need the certifications and the right testing. So in working with Australia and being an Australian manufactured product, we've done the work to get the right certifications to make it sort of on that world ready sort of level. But so far I've heard wonderful feedback from potential buyers and investors. We've had people leave their cards, and the product's been selling off the shelves so far. So far, so good. And I look forward to, this is just a start, I'll tell you that. So I look forward to exploring more and giving you an update.
I know that supply chains of many products around the world have been impacted due to border closures and also COVID-19. I mean, an example would be we've got major cities in China which are well known for manufacturing products which are currently shut down, which is impacting supply chains, to all countries around the world. Tonga's obviously been impacted now by a tsunami, and you source a lot of your organic products come out of Tonga. And second to that as well, we've got the border closures. How have you been impacted in terms of your supply chain or ability to supply a Middle Eastern market and a more broader global market during the pandemic?
Well, we've been able to we've been ready. We've been quite lucky in that we don't manufacture in China or overseas. We're very proud that we're an Australian-made product, and we've had to invest a lot in being a locally produced product, but it just worked in our favour that we made that decision. We haven't had any issues with any sort of supply. And prior to the lockdowns, I mean, I was in Tonga in sort of February, just before the lockdown happened in Tonga. I kept on bringing over the supplies to our manufacturer. We manufacture on a large scale, so we have sufficient stock at the moment. But the work is to help Tonga rebuild, to help the Tongan Youth Congress rebuild. And once we make contact with them and sort of assess what they need help with, we need to help get that factory set up for them. And I guess, there's not a lot we know at the moment. So I'm looking forward to connecting with Drew and the Youth Congress in order to assist any way that we can.
I note that you have approximately, I believe it's 4 particular products on the market at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. And
correct, yes.
That's right. And I think at least one, if not 2 of those are the latest ones that have just come out. Has there already been, before you've traveled over there to Dubai, has there already been an interest in any of those particular products or all of them together from Europe and the broader Middle East region?
I think we were waiting to have the full range to offer. I mean, a lot of the retailers sort of don't want to consider taking on products if it's sort of the 1 and the 2. We were waiting to offer a range. So we're quite happy with the range that we have, and it's just worked out at the same time as Expo. And to make an introduction here at Expo is what we were looking to do. So although it's 12 hours really difficult with COVID, I needed to try and get here. I'm only here for 5 days. It takes 14 hours to get here.
It's a fleeting visit.
But the leads are there. The leads are there, and I'm collecting them. And I think it's just timing. I think you have to be built a certain type of way to endure having a business during COVID. And so there's times that we have to be patient, and there's times that and make sure things are right. But I'm really happy to be here at this time to present this range on this sort of global level, because I'm ready to supply it and I'm ready to promote it. Our marketing team is doing the work. And so, yes, an international launch in the coming months would be great for us. And at this time, we're just collecting leads and making introductions to potential buyers.
And I believe today this our discussion and our interview today is coming not from Dubai, but actually a little bit further up at the capital of the United Arab Emirates, and that's Abu Dhabi. What was your impressions when you mentioned your impression walking into the Tongan Pavilion with the flag? But how did it feel to walk into our very own embassy of the Kingdom of Tonga in the Middle East of all places in Abu Dhabi?
I'm just like speechless. The amount of work that the team, His Excellencies have had to do here with Sonata and to keep, it's wonderful. It's amazing. It's world-class level. There's definitely a platform here for luxury and well put together products to be showcased here. The team here are fantastic, but I just can't believe that I'm here in Abu Dhabi. And for some reason, I thought Abu Dhabi and Dubai were like right next to each other. So I've been telling people to come and have meetings with me in Dubai, like it's just down the road. And His Excellency was so kind to invite myself and my assistant to come here and experience and visit the office. And so kindly offered for us to have sort of a central place to operate with business for Fennel. So I'm ever so grateful. And there's no words to tell my gratitude and love for the team here in Abu Dhabi.
Before I come back to the Deputy Commissioner for a bit of an update of things that have been going on at Expo, particularly with our Tongan Pavilion, for yourself, what is the next 5 days or the total 5 days? What does that look like for you in terms of meetings, presence, where you're going to be, what's on your itinerary? Because no doubt it's a very tight itinerary for 5 days, and you've got another 14-hour flight ahead of you at the end of it.
Yes. So in between my meetings with Austrade, so Austrade are based here in Australia. Based here in Abu Dhabi. I've been connecting with them whilst I've been in Australia. So I've been having meetings with different sectors, like the business development manager that's in charge of the Middle East from Austrade. Also, I'm very busy. I don't think I even have time to go and take a photo anywhere cute. I have back-to-back meetings. So after this, we head back to Dubai, and we have a meeting with Saudi Arabia. I leave back on Saturday, but up until Saturday, we have meetings back-to-back with interest. And I'm here for the work. Maybe next time I'll be able to get out and experience Dubai a little bit, but the leads are there, and I'm taking any interest, any meetings I can at this time.
That's awesome. Before I pass to the Deputy Commissioner, is there anything additional that you wanted to add or any encouragement to our people anywhere in the world? I know travel's a little bit difficult, but what would you say to our people who want to get over there to Dubai, want to see Expo 2020, people like myself, before the end of the Expo season in end of March?
I think for us here, the Tongans in the diaspora, it's a time for us to wake up and work. It's a time for us to be encouraged to help our brothers and our sisters and our families that are in Tonga. The opportunities are there. Please make contact with Sue and His Excellency and Sonata here. The team is here to help. It's just been lovely to connect and work together. I am very prepared and very excited for the future. It's been a vision of mine for a long time. My heart's always been for the Tongan people, and for the youth in particular. And for me, I just was questioning, must have been a bit of reason why I was here at this time, because I was meant to come before. But yes, the work needs to be done, and I would just encourage everybody to be lotolahi and keep the prayers, keep connected, keep the conversations going. But the work needs to be done. The Tonga's going to be cleaning up, but we need to be assisting them abroad, and we need to be working, connecting with people to help us, and being a voice for our communities back home.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Melanie. Look, wishing you all the best for the rest of your time there in the UAE and also in the broader Middle Eastern area, and praying that great networking opportunities and partnerships evolve whilst you're there, and wishing you a safe trip. Stay safe, of course, in COVID in this world, and a safe trip back home to your base in Sydney. I'll pass now to the Deputy Commissioner. Look, Sue, could you give us a little bit of some stats and figures in terms of, the Tongan Pavilion, essentially, it's an opportunity for people in the business world and for trade. It is an opportunity. How many countries do we have exposure to? What are the kind of networking that exists at Expo 2020? You've been there since, well before it commenced. So for those who's never been there, and we know we've got some idea of an exposition, this is not just any expo. This is one of the largest expos in history. Could you give us some stats and show us a little bit about what this opportunity looks like to someone who's a potential business investor?
Well, it's huge. It's absolutely huge, and it's very magical. And there's 190 odd pavilions, so and every country is here. So, and everyone's wanting to do deals. They're looking for products. They're looking for exposure for their products. So, please come. Please talk to us. This is our job. This is our only job. Find markets for the products that we do have. So as I said, we've had 140,000 people go through the pavilion, but we also have an investment office as well. So we've got the connections here. We've got the trade connections. And as you know, the ambassador's been involved with the UAE for way back when they were lobbying for Irina and when they were actually bidding for this expo. So he has a lot of connections. And I know one of the other people that Melly met yesterday was Dr. Mustafa, who is a very old and distinguished family from the Emirates and has huge connections and business. So these are a whole lot of connections that we have, people we can talk to, people we can show the product to, and they can lead us to the right distributors. They can give us ideas of how we can polish or shine an object, something if it's not quite right. But this is what you need to do, is come here. You need to start the conversations with us. You really do. And you need to be, I think what's exciting with Melly is that she's so passionate about her product. It's a brilliant product too. So I'm passionate about it. We're out there trying very hard to get that market here because we want it in here. Yeah.
That's so good. And I mean, I asked Melly the question, but I'll ask yourself, what was your observations of people's reactions to the product? I saw it on the photos on social media. It was on display in the Tongan Pavilion. I've also seen presentations to other delegations in there. What have you observed in terms of how people are responding to this really unique organic product coming from our island kingdom, presented and packaged in a very, very internationally marketable way?
Oh, I've heard things like they've sat my product there and said, "Oh, it looks like it's from Paris." Definitely very impressed. They like the gold, they like the packaging, they like the clean look of the product. It looks like a luxurious product to them. They're very impressed. And so they'll try a sample of the product and they love it. I have been met with a lot of pleasant reactions to the brand, which is very encouraging for me. So, I'm, like Sue said, I'm very passionate, and to be able to see it enjoyed by people here in the Middle East, it's a different kind of feeling, like that they value and enjoy. But also the story of, having a product from the Kingdom of Tonga, the source that I'm sourcing the ingredients from them. They're very interested and very intrigued.
I note that, of course.
I think, Sully.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sully, if I may, one meeting we had, we introduced Melly to one of a beautiful old Emirati man that just takes my heart every time I meet him. But he worked very closely with the founding fathers to build the city. So he's a very, very distinguished gentleman and has been involved in so much industry. But we sat down and we had a coffee, and at the beginning of this meeting, he put some of the oil on his hands and he smelt it. And right through the meeting, while we were talking about the product and how best to go forward here, he kept smelling it and he was just taken back by the colour, the smell, the texture of the product. He just loved it. So there's definitely a market here. And I know he was so taken by Melly as well that he's certainly going to be working in the background to assist her.
And I'm sure I'm not wrong here in saying that, we're familiar with the story behind tui tui. I mean, these are traditional things that have been in Tonga for so many centuries. And the Middle East being an Eastern culture who values traditions and values, organic products and so on, I'm sure that there's been an appreciation from them as you've shown the product as well for the story that's attached to it.
Absolutely. So I think there's so many opportunities here that we've only touched the surface, and we need more products. But we need, as I said earlier, the products coming out of Tonga need to be of the sort of standard for this market. And I'm sure there's other markets for products that are sort of lower cost and but for this market, you're really looking at top quality products here, because that's what they've got here. So we have to compete. And this is one of those products. So if you've got it, email us. We're going to work with you and try and help to get it into the market.
I was going to ask if there's someone out there who's someone who believes they have a product, they might be a little bit uncertain, is this something that would be good for Expo? They may not be living in Tonga. They might be of Tongan descent, living in amongst our diaspora communities anywhere in the world. How would they get in contact with you in order to get this? So I'm aware that we've only got a couple of months to go for Expo. We'd want to get their product very urgently, make contact to establish that relationship, to get an opportunity to present it to the world, to only 192 countries. That's phenomenal. How would they go about doing that?
Just email the embassy. So you'll find the embassy email online. Email the embassy. We're only a tiny wee team. And so talk to us. I mean, we'll give you advice. We'll look at the product. We'll talk to you about what we think and assist you as much as we can. If you're interested in putting it in this market, because that's what we're here for. We're here to find investment. We're here to assist Tongans. So please, we'd love it. Bring it on.
Just coming back to Expo more generally and the Tongan Pavilion, I was very fortunate, Pasifika TV Radio was very fortunate to be able to broadcast the opening ceremony, which was just like out of this world, and was a great showcase of what the UAE is all about and the high standards, and showing the whole world what they can do. What have been some of the highlights for you personally since the exposition formally opened, in terms of our Tongan Pavilion, or maybe in terms of Expo more generally?
Well, I must say the opening ceremony I watched on TV too, because they only asked the Commissioner Generals to go. So, but that was amazing. It was simply amazing. I guess the highlight for me must be, I've been working with Her Majesty the Queen on Expo for a few years now, and for us to develop a pavilion that's so different to every other pavilion, and of such a high class, that shows the beauty of Tonga. And it is a very long process, but we were here, so it was a lot easier for us to work with the Expo people on what we were wanting. So it came down to, what myths are we going to put into the Expo, into our pavilion, and how are we going to portray it? So we decided to do little cartoons. Whose voice is going to be the little boy? What does a crab say when it runs along the in Awa Forest? A coconut crab. Who's got a voice like a coconut crab? I mean, it just goes on. It's so much detail, so much work. And what they sort of did was, we were working closely with them, but then they sort of blocked us out. We weren't allowed to go to the pavilion for a while, and I knew that they were setting up everything we'd done. So when I went through the first time, I did cry. I must admit, I did cry. A couple of times I've done that. I just sit there and go, wow, it's just so amazing, because everything came together, and it had been a hard journey, and we were just so very proud that this is the way we are going to show our little kingdom to the whole world. And the feedback we're getting is just so amazing. I mean, when the Saudi Commissioner General came through yesterday, he was just blown away. For a small state pavilion, it's so outstanding. if I may say so myself.
And I know, Sue, we've both got a background in the travel industry and hospitality.
Yes.
And I know that another key industry for Tonga obviously is tourism, and putting our border closures and that aside for a moment, because they won't be closed forever. What has been has this pavilion, because it is a extremely high quality pavilion, and I haven't been there. I'm just looking at the videos and what you've been able to so graciously send me. But what has been the interest from people who've never been to Tonga from all parts of the world? Because you've got an expo normally our expos have been in Asia and Europe, but this is our first expo in the middle of the Middle East region. What has been some of the interest from from visitors to the Tonga Pavilion in terms of planning a future visit to the Kingdom of Tonga?
I think what we get is a lot of excitement from visitors because it's so interactive. The real excitement about the whales, the whole whale thing, and the beauty. I don't think most people here don't know absolutely anything about Tonga. They have no idea where it is. So, but just seeing the beauty of how we've portrayed it, they want to go. They're just blown away. They just love it, absolutely love it. So when the borders open, we are hoping that that excitement continues, and we're going to keep building it here even after Expo. The whole Expo pavilion at the end of Expo, because we're now halfway through, it'll be packed into a container, sent back to Tonga for them to use at future tourism events. So we're very lucky that they've gifted it to Tonga. Yeah,
that's absolutely fantastic. And as we bring our chat today to Vanessa, is there anything you want to add? It could be about Expo or something more general from the Tongan Embassy there in Abu Dhabi. If there's anything you'd like to add as an encouragement or any pointers or information that you feel that our viewers should be aware of?
Well, we're going to make an announcement soon on our National Day, on our honour day at least, on the 4th of March. We've had some difficulties with this because of several reasons. One, the borders are closed with Tonga, and the difficulty of getting people out of Tonga and getting them home through New Zealand. But we're working on something and waiting on approval from His Majesty, and then we'll let everyone know what's happening. But there's probably one more thing, just an aside. As you see, we both have Air New Zealand background. For those who are interested in knowing, the travel centre and the cargo premises were so blessed. We had minimal damage there, and far more importantly, all the staff are fine and all their homes are fine. So my staff have been working. My team is just so incredible. I just love them to bits. But they've been working hard to clean up and to get the business running again, so we can get aid flights coming in from New Zealand. So we're nearly there. We're waiting on the Orion to turn up with a piece of equipment to get us onto the internet, and then we'll be up and running again, and it'll all be good. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Look, on behalf of Pasifika TV and Radio, and also all of our Tongan diaspora around the world, particularly those here in Australia, we just want to say a big thank you to His Excellency and yourself on the outstanding dedication, devotion, leadership that you've provided to the Kingdom of Tonga over there, following the vision of their Majesties and bringing that vision to fruition in very challenging times. I don't think that the Expo could have been held at a more challenging time in world history. And the two of you have done, and your team have just done such a great job, because although borders are closed, we feel the energy that's coming out of Expo. We feel the passion, we feel the excitement of the Tongan Pavilion, that we are very proud of the pavilion, irrespective of whether we've been able to see it or not see it firsthand. But it really has put Tonga on the map in the Middle East, and to hear that pavilion will be able to be transported for potential future use down the line is very, very exciting. And also to you, Mele, as well, thank you so much for your passion and dedication to your product, for putting Tonga on the map with a world-class product, and for having the energy there and the dedication to travel and follow a vision, and to network with our Tongan diaspora, and just for working together with our Tongan embassy there in the Middle East. It's such a blessing, and I want to wish all of you in this meeting today all the best. It is a tough time back in the kingdom, but like as the Deputy Commissioner said a little bit earlier, our Tongan people, we're resilient, and we will come out of this, and we'll come out of this on top, and through God's grace and love. So I just want to wish you all the best, and thank you so much for this opportunity today to sit down and have a chat with you. And hopefully our next chat is face-to-face and not via a virtual means. That would be very exciting. Thank you very much. Malo Alpito.
Malo Alpito.
Malo Alpito.
Eke mawahe fokia le tio mo televisione Pasifika pe mo su a kau ola ko e komisiona tokoni komisiona fokia ai pare kuia pe whare tonga I he expo wa fe mawanoa I he pureanga whakatataha kuia o Alepe pe United Arab Emirates I Tiupai pe nei kau mai foki ki ai pe mo so na tupou a mei he embassy pe ko ofisi whakaambastor o Tonga ki Abu Dhabi. Pepe he foki kia mele Wheniu Olivetti, ko e whinimoi Tonga foki mei Sene Australia, pe o kune lolotonga whakahoko a ahi koia ki he hake lotoloto ke tuuaki, ai ngahi krimi, pe ma ngahi koloa koia ne businessi, ko e Wheniu ki he kainga koia I he wheitu koia. Kai ke he te tau hoko atu koe ni, kia popoaki, whie kaunga mamahi. Hopoaki whie kaunga mamahi. Tulo mo e tala whakatapu ka kato e whonua mo e lotu. Tapu he mo e hau whakalewelewa o e kilukilua ka koe au niu. Pia tulo o e tulutulu mafua o e lupioko o e oto whelenite. Whakaapa lahi ki he kerekele tupua o haahawea lahi. Koka kula e, koe whē taulaki anga o e haahawea lahi. Kai hala tuu atu, a hoko apisia tu ani, mei he ape ko mao he kakawa. He kua mapelu mo e lau, e lo akau o hoko whoko o tua anga, kai tuku pe mua. Ke unga atu, e sāme manako e pe kia. Te o tangaki hoko mata ki ngahi mo ngā. Hoko hao me whē hoko tokoni. Ko hoko tokoni, hoko mea sihova. Aia, na ane ngauhi ai langi, mō mahamani. Ki he eiki no pele la sike, mo hono whare. Ki a sikei, mo kainga kuia, o e lele alulu. Ki a no pele wahai. Ki a no pele ahomee. Ki a motua puaka. Ki a tangata eiki Palestini, o e siasi Wesleyana tawataina koia o Tonga, whaiwhekao toketa, te vita koloa ia havea. Ki e Palestini o e sias Tonga tawataina, se misi whonua. Ki a inoke kupu lia hona. Ki e whanau me makapuna o maafu takinima. Ki a whaiwhekao maninoa, se tuata mo e siasi Wesiana o Lakepa. Ki e whanau me makapuna o Luciane ki taanea vavau. Ki e saia leka mo Viriami Afiaki ki e waha noa. Kia una loto afiaki mo meleame mafi, whanau me makapuna o mosaati afiaki. Kia sao afiaki mo Luciane, whanau me makapuna o Keni afiaki. Kia whaifekao sioni afu, Sela mo Selu, whanau me makapuna o melelatai afu, Wahanoa. Kia whalemaka afiaki mo Motuliki Samisoni, whanau me makapuna o Luisa Samisoni, me Tonga pea mo Wahanoa. Kia mele lola vi, heui whanga saipa ia, whanau me makapuna o whina o whatawhehi me masila mea pe mo Wahanoa. Kia ana patua talia, whanau me makapuna, pe he kia Saya Hakaumotu, whanau me makapuna o Moala Tika, Hakaumotu me masila mea. Kia whanau me makapuna o Sami Afiaki. Kia ofa Kawhalawa, whanau me makapuna kuia o Fatuma. Kia mele tauwha ewa o Asike, Wheturi eke whanau me makapuna o Oloto me hawhewa, me whahewa. Kia Sami Mawhileo me masila mea. Kia maafu tatu Niu Palavu, Panuve tatu Niu Palavu, whanau me makapuna o hati Niu Palavu me Kolomotua. Kia Tauveli Haukoloa, whanau me makapuna o Siones Riva Haukoloa ki la paha pe mo Wahanoa. Kia whanau me makapuna o Ekuasi Tāvou, kia Whilimi Tāvou, whanau mo e whangamakopuna me matahao pe mo Wahanoa. Kia Alipate Tāvou, whanau me makapuna o Maka Tāvou, kia Tui Soso mo Ana Takataka, whanau me makapuna o Susi Tāvou, me Tonga pe mo Wahanoa. Kia Vaesiu mo Sosekata, whanau me makapuna o Lupe Tupou. Kia whanau me makapuna o Vaanisi ki Haakame, kia Vaake, Talita Hausia, whanau me makapuna o Kaikona. Kia whanau me makapuna o Suane Lomo me Haakame, kia Sekola Vanila, whanau me makapuna o Alusa. Kia Veaniua, whanau me makapuna o Alamoni. Kia Haloti Naulu, Niu Naulu, Fine Ingo Fetuu, whanau me makapuna o Taweli Naulu. Kia whanau me makapuna o Pohahau Naulu, kia whanau me makapuna o Ikani Naulu. Kia Whililangi Naulu, Pohahau Naulu, whanau me makapuna o Teivita Naulu. Kia Liuloi Whanguna, whanau me makapuna o Mafi Whanguna. Kia Vaivevea Tupou mo Mafi, whanau a Oto Tupou ki Ingilani. Kia Isileli Latavao, whanau me makapuna o Ofa Wepi Latavao. Kia Ngalu Kilo Afiaki, mo e Fototehina ki Aukalani Nusila. Kia Fefita Hakao Motu, Whaifekao Wakataimani, whanau me makapuna o Mofuike Simiki, ki Tonga pe mo Wahanoa. Kia Whaamiri o Witou, kia Tāwalu whanau me makapuna o Melevesi Tuipolotu, kia Daniela Bloomfield, whanau me makapuna o Hopi, kia Alisi Falisi mo Emeline whanau me makapuna o Falisi Wasi, kia Sione Pulu Niuhulu mo Laukau Hufanga, whanau me makapuna o Eliesa Niuhulu i Wahanoa. Kia Kamoto, Matangi Bloomfield, whanau me makapuna o Anne Bloomfield. Kia Daniela Fihaki, Siala Fihaki, whanau me makapuna o Atunaisa Fihaki. Kia Kokoho Fihaki, whanau me makapuna o Wiri Fihaki. Kia Siusifa mo Lopeti na Aniumotu, whanau me makapuna o ālisi na aniu motu. Kia hurita kao waka, me levesi mo uhila manase kia wahanoa. Kia Daniela tene fufu, hurita moala, whanau a Senturi tene fufu. Kia Ato Pālelei Junior, whanau a Sisi Pālelei. Kia Liveti whinau mo whanau ki Australia. Kia Anakiu Niu, Melika Latu, Mafi Iongi, Whetapa Hala Api Api, Pea mo te evita tene fufu ki Amerika. Kia hala mehi tene fufu telefoni ki Aunkalani no Usila. Whamore mole, te lia na tō hataha, he koi toi pē a whānau. Oku mawongo i loto mamahi mo oni, ke whakaha atu, ko tali lelei he kui, koe wha e ofa, koe mehikitanga, koe tūwhewhine, koe taukete, ko kalolaine, whiri moe langi, na ulu, tene fufu, ahonui mā oni ki e tae hā mai, i he ahua whā sanuari wāwhe mā wōua. O kui kai ha hanu, e launga, he ko Sihova na ane fuaki, pea ko Sihova pē, kuone toi to'o atu. Kai ke malo i ai pē, e huafa o Sihova. O ko mau pō taha pē i hono api no fuanga, api ko mao he kakawa i la kepa, i he po uri hifo, o e aho tua pulululu ko hono wawhito o Sanuari, pea e toki whakaheke heka e ne wholau, i he whalaite ko nua walo o Sanuari, taimi hongo fulu pongpongi, i he whaitoka, ko punga haa mea, i la kepa pe. Whaka apa atu mo e ofalahi atu, mea siaosi niu hulu, siu sifa tene fufu moi whanau paea. Tonga o ku wata e tatalele ki a teke motolu mo kao mai ki e tau polokalama pe mo letio mo televisione Pasifika koia ki hoatani. Ko mo taimi foki i Brisbane Australia toi kuata ke nima e fiafi ka koi toi kuata foki ki he ono i sene pe mo kenpela mo melepuane lawe i pe. Niongo pe koi whanua tatau pe ko ku vahe foki ngahi sone taimi ke he pe ko uhinga i o ku ke he tau taimi. No usila foki be mo Tonga mo mua foki i whanuani ake foi haua e tolu. Tui pe o ku ongolele ato e polokalamani ki a tiki mo tolu pe ko lava kakato e tau ngahi o ngongo ki he houani. Ai ena tokamata mai ake e o ngongo kuia me Katalina Wili Tohi pe foki ki he tau whakaeke eke kuia pe mo sinipata muri koi ofisa kolo me Eweiki pe hili kuia na tau hoko atu ki he whakaeke eke ka koi whepo talanoa aki makehe ai polokalamani i he talanoa pe mo su a kau ola koi tokoni komisiona kuia o e Expo Wawhi Mawanoa ai parepare koia atonga pea ka koe hoa foki o e Ambassador o Tonga ki he pureanga whakatataho ale pea, His Excellency a Kauola, pea mo Mele Wheniu Olivetti, nei he kautaha koe ko wheniu, pena tau I heni pe whoki pea mo sona tutupou. Ai koe Sekretari Uluaki whokia a Tonga ki ki whare whakaambasatoa koia, peko ofisi whakaambasatoa koia a Tonga, ki he UAE, peko United Arab Emirates, I he kolo koia ko kolomua ko Abu Dhabi. Pe hiri koia na tau hoku atu ki he popoaki whi kaunga mamahi. Tui pea ko ngole te polo kalamani, ki tapa e wha koia oi kolope, pe te tau hoku atu koe ni ki a tuuaki, o kei whai business e ua, o kuna popo whewheka ki a polo kalamani, ai koe Astute Digital, Astute Financial Kataki, pe moe Digicel, manta koe Digicel ko pau whi topa po telefoni ki Tonga, lava lelei pe a ki ho a hia, whale kolo koe ofitaha ki a te koe ai 7-Eleven I Australia, pe whoki ki ngai dairies anga maheni pe no usila, pe hua atu pe ke nau pesi wao pe www.digicelinternational.com.
Lelei famala tun ke vrem sikaheli wene ka taha S2 Financial palo to ko na fe tek mau he kumi api pa kon ko ma e api to ko famala het ka te ko be ka to kon ko to pena ke fai ko ye ka na tonga ko na to ko to pe ko fe kumi ha mu api fe ma to ko ni mo fe tu ta ka vrem sikaheli ko to ta to nu ye to kon ka ta to ka na tonga be malo.
I kuna lahi he whakotua ako koe ni pe moe Digicel International. Ave ai topa panga e wanoa, prepaid bundle pe koe talafiselini ki ho family pe e huhohi ngoa ki lulu ki kuna ai Samsung Galaxy Flip Z pe S21 pe koe pare pa anga e uang iau he wika kotoa pe. Ki hao whainga maari ke I kuna pe ke ngawe aki e Digicel International app pe koe digicelinternational.com pe ahia e whanekoloa. Whitu taki ma au pe mho kainga aki ho ave ai topa prepaid bundle pe talafiselini he ahoni. Ai Pasifika. Whakatawangi nei onga lea tai polokalama kuia e whiawhini. Mō tolu kuia o mō whitu utaki mai o whaka eke e polokalama kuia ai whuaki pāle, pe koe whakalangilangi kuia ai le tio mo televisione Pasifika, pe koe Pasifika TV and Radio Australia Day Awards nei, ai anai whakahoku atu ane pō, nei maari au pitoia, pe koe ne tokolahi kakau kuna tohi mai o eke pe toi whakahoku atu whakaku, oku maupeia ko ha polokalama oku osi tui atu pe I he pēsi koia e tohe whawhonga koia e Pasifika TV and Radio, pe he whoki ki he senolo koia I he YouTube, te ke lava pe o tōtou mamata pe ki ai, e nai ai pe ngai whaiba maalie me matakari toke lao, niue, tonga pe mo Hamoa, kau maa whoki ai ngai hiva maalie me he kakai hiva iloa me Pasifiki, kau whoki ai a Marina Davis me Hamoa, pe he whoki ki a Keina Finau, pe mo Pastor Pipa, ko Pita Taimani, kau maa whoki a Doni Mahanga. Mao atu kakato pe mo ki nau tolu koia, na mao whoki ngai pāre, puka ngai whakalangilangi, lolo tonga koia ai tau polokalama. Ko toi watu whoki a taratale lei, mei he leti au ma televisione Pasifika, ki kau a ahi koia, mei he ngahi ofisi whakamawhalalea ai televisione, koe ni, I he uwheitu ke he, kia makalesi kawa palu whachi me Melapuani Victoria, koe whaiongongo whokia ai Pacifica News, ka koe whakahotokotaha whaipolokalama whoki mei he studio koe ai Pacifica TV and Radio I Melapuane. Pe whoki ki sene, ki tokotolai mai kau whalau mei sene, ki a Lisa Prescott Whongalei, whaiongongo whoki pe moia a le tio mai televisione Pasifika mei sene, pe whoki a Dave Whongalei, kau maa whoki a whaifika o Reverend Jason Kioa, pe mo fotolina. Ai koe kau whalau whoki eni, ma kau whaipolokalama pe a le tio mai televisione Pasifika mei sene, koe kolo tāla whoki o Australia, pe o kuatai pe moi mau popoaki ofa ki a lavenia na whahu tuni tau mei he kolomua o Australia me ken pela na kekesi I lava mai, kani ongo ia, o mau fia au pito si lava, o whalau mai ai kau ngawe koe ni, niongo pe koe kau ngawe ofa, kau ki ai nau loto mo e ngawe matiaki o kuna whakahoko maatonga, pe he whoki ki he tau leti o koe ni. Kai kehe, Whakatawangi na onga le atu ke te motola tau ngahi o ngongo, mana tui e tau polokalama haamua, whika mai le pese pe mo motu unoi, e whakahoko atu ia i he hoa nei e ua pe tolu me i heni, i he lea whakahaamua, a pongi toi foki mai tau ngahi o ngongo lo tonga e hoa aho, ka uma a foki e polokalama oho whanonga whakaaho, pe mo whaiwhika o Reverend Jason Kioa, e whakahoko atu pe ia mei whaleni pe, me he studio koia i Brisbane, he lo tonga i heni foki pe mai whaiwhikau, pe mo ngahi polokalama ke pe ia aho a pongpongi. Whakatawangi te wama o ha efi awhi lelei o whake whaita apukina ki motoro kotoa e he o tua me a tei whangalei pe mo surieni me he studio uluaki i Brisbane ma aloha mo mea mai. Ka mo mea tua whātou.